The tools you're going to need for installation are a 3/4 inch on an impact, 3/4 inch wrench, 7/16 wrench, 7/16 socket, and a level. Now that we've established where we want to put the fan on this beam, I'm going to measure 7 foot from that box just to allow access to that. We'll be 25 inches down is where we'll be with our 1 foot down tube. So that'll put us out of the way of everything. And the beam itself is 6 inches wide. So if I come to my mounting bracket, I can see my holes here are 6.5. On my 2 most interior holes, we can handle beams up to 10 inches. Anything wider than that, and you'll have to through bolt through the beam using these holes. I like to get my first bracket bolted through with our 2-inch long 1/2-inch bolts. You'll see the bent taper here is on the outside of the beam. I'll put the other side on now. Okay, now I've got my down tube in. I've got it plumbed up because the beam slopes that way, so we've got it plumbed up with the floor. We've got our brackets tightened up onto the beam. So this is now ready to receive the fan. Now that I've got my fan up with these 2 bolts, we went ahead and leveled it up and tightened up those bolts. Now I'm going to put the final 4.5-inch bolt through on the opposite side of the fan through the bracket. And then that'll help squeeze our bracket to not allow this down tube to pivot in the future. Now that I have that bolt in there, we're going to go ahead and fish our safety strap underneath the frame, between the frame and the gearbox. Looped it to itself, went up and over the beam, and I'm attached to the building. So now I've got the first blade up. I put my 4 bolts facing up, and then I line it up with this edge all the way around. I like to work my way counterclockwise around. So my next one will be to the right, then this tip's not in the way of my next bolts. Now that I got all my blades on, I went around and put my winglets on. In this particular application, we want to push the air down more than broadcast out. You don't always need to use the winglets, but they do mount on the end of the blade on top. If you want to use them, it helps direct the air more downward instead of broadcasting it out across a large space. That's just because they have their employees in this area, and that's where they want to cool them out. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5.